Hi everybody, it's Tracy coming to you again with another information video on charms and jewellery making. Now, this chapter is going to be about findings. Now, what findings are what make your project. They're the things that hold everything together, basically. Excuse me. And just here I've just got a small selection of some bits and pieces that I'd like to go through with you. Now, these will all be found under the heading of findings. It's a generic umbrella term. So first of all, you'll want some pins. Now, I don't know if you can see these, so I'll get them out and hold them up for you. There are two types of pins. There are head pins and there are eye pins. And you'll see that it's very easy to see which is which, and you may be able to have a guess at why they are called what they're called. Sorry about the crackling. Okay, this is a head pin. Looks like a regular pin that you might use in dressmaking. They come in different lengths, as you can see. I've got a bag of very small ones here, and different widths, which obviously you have to be careful about. The widths obviously give you the idea of the flexibility of the pin. So if you want something a bit sturdier, you'd probably go for something a little bit thicker. Okay, this is an eye pin, and you can identify that because it's got a loop on the end. Can you see that? Yeah. Basically, the difference between the two pins is if you want to load beads, this is a good one to use because you've got the bottom on this bead, as you can see. I don't know if you can. So you just load your beads on, and then what you would do is you would make your loop at the top in order to connect it to your project. This one already has your loop to connect, but you don't have a bottom to stop your beads falling off. So what you would do is you'd load your beads onto this one, and then you'd have to make your own loop, and I will cover that with you later. Some people like to constantly use head pins, some people like to use the eye pins. I like both. I tend to use the eye pins as my main frame, and then I will use the head pin as my connection, which I'll show you again. So they're your two different types of pins. The other thing that comes in different sizes and thicknesses are your jump rings. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to see this on my camera, but we'll have a go. Let's get one of these out. And then I give my little itty bitty ones go. Ah, here they are. Now, this is going to be good if I can do this. Jump rings are what connect your eye pins to your projects. This is a jump ring, as is this, as is this. Don't know if we can get in. Get any of those? Ah, you can see this one is thick, this one is less thick, and this one is the thinnest. So again, you can get your jump rings in different sizes and different thicknesses, and again, you need to watch that. These really thick ones can be quite a challenge to split. Thinner ones are easier, but if you're going to make a heavier, bulkier charm or piece of jewellery, you may want the thicker ones to take the weight. So, you know, you'll get used to what you want or prefer for your particular project. As I said, the medium one is what I tend to use more of, because I've got it's a little bit thicker than the bigger one, but that means that it will hold a little bit more weight, so I don't have to worry that halfway through a project, oh my gosh, you know, it's getting a bit heavy, I now have to use a really big thick jump ring. So these are jump rings, okay, and like I said again, just to remind you, you can get them in different thicknesses and different sizes along with your pins. The next findings I'd like to show you are things called spacer beads. Now, if you're just starting out on this and you're not sure what you need or what you need to use, you may not want to use spacer beads. You may just want to use the beads that you've got. To me, spacer beads add another layer to your bead making, or your charm making, or your jewellery making. And they can also show off your beads, because you've got that gap between the beads. The beads are not all crowded together, but it's a totally preferential thing. But I have 3 different types of spacers here to show you. Now, these are just normal silver little beads. Excuse me. I've just got over the flu. My voice keeps going still. Normal silver beads that you can use as spacers. These are like little flowers. Let me pop one out for you so you can see. And as I said, it adds another dimension, something else to look at. Let's see if I can get that. There you go. See, it's a little daisy. And that's a spacer bead as well. You can get them in different shapes, different sizes, and you can even get them blingy. And I've got a blingy one here for you. Don't know if you can see it. That's a spacer bead, but it's got little diamantes all around the edge. I'm not sure. Don't think the camera's picking it up that well. No, it's blurring. Let's pop that there for you. Yeah, you can see it better that way. See? These you can also get in different colours. So, I don't know, if you're using, say, pink and clear beads, you might want to use one of these, or you can get it with pink stones in it, so you can coordinate it. Again, different shapes, different sizes, different prices. Obviously, the plainer and more functional, the cheaper. You start getting into fancy shapes and fancy bits and pieces, then obviously you're going to be paying more. Okay, so we've covered pins, we've covered jump rings, and we've covered spacer beads. The last thing on this chapter that I want to... Oh no, actually I've got a couple of more bits, not one. I think I'll come back to that. So they're your findings, guys, okay? Have a look around, have a play. Lots of what I use, I either buy from Jilly Beads, whose link I'm going to put in the bottom here, or I go on eBay. And you can get a pack like that, and you can see there's hundreds of those in there for 99p. It's really worth, and I will keep plugging eBay for that, because you can get bags of beads for 99p. You know, you can get so much to get started at such an inexpensive price. The most, I think, the dearest thing you'll probably pay for is your tools. So anyway, that's findings, and I'll be back with another short chapter for you shortly. Thanks for watching, and please do leave a comment.